Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 2. It's also episode 2 on the angels. So if you haven't listened to episode 1 about them, which is the previous episode, I recommend going back and doing that first. But this could also go as its own standalone episode. I really recommend listening to the first one before this and then coming back. It makes sense more when I mention the seraphim, the ophanim, and the cherubim. The first group of angels I'm going to be talking about today is the Diminations. So the Diminations are said to be the oldest group of angels. When I was doing my research for this, I couldn't figure out if they were the oldest angels made or if it's just the first class of angel that was actually put together when God was organizing all of them into their own subgroups. So they serve the angels above them along with God. The angels of being above them, of course, being the seraphim, the ophanim, and the cherubim. They give commands to keep the universe running the way that it should and going with natural law and not against it, unless of course given command by God. The natural laws are the 7 Hermetic principles, and I will be talking about them in a later episode, but for now, a few of them are the law of gender, the law of vibration, and the law of attraction, along with the other 4 that I did not mention. But like I said, there would be their own episode about each of them, and probably their own individual episode as well, so stay tuned for that. The Diminations are below the as aforementioned other angels due to them not needing to be served, meaning the cherubim, the ophanim, and the seraphim don't need to be served because they're basically self-efficient. They don't really have to give commands to the Diminations and the ones below them, but they can. The Diminations look like humans. This is going to be the ones that are depicted in more art, such as the Catholic style of art, because they're depicted as humans with 2 wings, but they wear gold and green robes, and in one hand they carry a staff of cross on it, and it is made of gold or a golden looking substance. It's going to be carried in their left hand. In the right hand they carry a seal with the monogram of Jesus Christ on it, and this seal actually represents power and authority. The power and authority, of course, being over the angels below them and the natural law or the 7 Hermetic principles that the universe has to follow. They are led by Muriel, Zachiel, and Zadkiel, along with Hashmiel. I don't think I'm saying that right. I am sorry for the pronunciations. Like I said, I'm not very good at Hebrew and Latin and all that, whatever it is. These are the angels of mercy. So really, when people are praying for mercy and they aren't praying directly to God, because there are some groups that actually pray to angels or try summoning them, but that's in a later episode. These are going to be the ones that grant mercy and stuff like that, or might try to intervene for people on behalf of them to God, just depending on what's going on. Below them is the virtues. The Diminations are going to give orders to the virtues at times, especially for maintaining the universe and the physical 3-dimensional 5-sense construct reality that we experience. They look like sparkles of light, so like sparks, or think kind of like fireflies, how they fly around, but continuously lit, not being quick and then gone, like blink and you miss it type of thing. They inspire people with stuff like the sciences, so creativity, stuff like that. So say you invent a light bulb, that would be a inspiration from the virtues, or stuff that's really useful to people, not so much TV and stuff like that just stuff that's going to be used for everyday practical reasons. They do things for the Diminations, such as like carrying out orders and stuff. It's believed by the Saint Georgie the Great that God uses them to enact his miracles that go against natural law. So when God wants to do something that goes against natural law, he can have them carry it out instead of just doing it himself. Which, I mean, it's God. Of course, he can do it by himself. He's just like, hey, go do this. And of course, it's done because they have the ability to go against it. They just can't do this without the permission or direct instruction by God himself. In some versions of the story of Jesus, when he makes water into wine and heals the blind man and all that, he actually uses these angels to do it, but we just of course can't see them being on this physical reality. When he was in the desert and Satan said something about throwing himself off of the cliff and the angels would catch him, yeah, he means that he's the son of God, so they would, but it also could mean that he could command them to lift him up, unless it would just appear that he was flying, but really it would just be angels picking him up. They're mentioned in Acts chapter 1 verse 10, saying, and while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as they went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. From my notes, this means something about Adam and Eve, when Eve was pregnant with Cain. This would also be when she was pregnant with Abel, but for some reason, all the research that I found actually means that she was being helped by angels when she was pregnant with Cain. Like, they only cared about Cain, which is pretty weird considering that he was the one who went and killed his brother and became the first murderer in history, and when he made the sacrifice to God, God wasn't pleased with it and all that sort of thing. So I have no idea why it would just only be Cain. It said that they were the midwives of Eve after she gave birth to Cain. Again, I don't know if this means that they only cared about Cain, or if it's just because Cain was the oldest, or what this might be, but yeah, I guess I'll try to update this if I find out any more information, but when I was doing my research, I couldn't find anything about this. They also help people with courage, so like if you're afraid, you could, in theory, call upon these angels and they would help you with being able to do something mentally, like say, I have to go get blood work and I'm terrified of needles. You ask these angels for help and then they would help you with being less scared. The leaders of this group of angels are Barbiel, Cassiel, Gabriel, Pypel, Raphael, and Zeriel. Michael is regent of the Crier of Virtues, so he's really like the supreme commander of the virtues, basically. Gabriel is a messenger angel, which is actually what angel's role technically is, since it comes from Angelos. More on that in episode 1 of this angel series, I guess you could call it if you wanted to. Below that is the powers. The powers are led by Camiel and Samael. From what I remember, Samael is kind of a darker angel. He's kind of like Satan in Islam, from what I found. But some versions say that he basically left the command of God and basically did the same thing that Satan did and revolted. But others say no, he's an agent of God. He just basically is more of the chaotic one. But more on him in his own future video, of course. Camuel, Chamuel. I know I'm not pronouncing that right, so if you can figure it out, then great. I'm so sorry I can't. is thought to be the chief of the powers, but that is kind of inconsistent. It kind of changes at times. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. So really, it just depends on who you ask. Others say that Gabriel, Raphael, or Vikel is the ruler chief, and not Chamiel, the one I previously mentioned. So, like I said, really, it's unknown. It just depends on who you ask, where you get your sources from, and everything. They are called powers due to them having higher powers than humans. And these are going to be the ones that are depicted with armor and stuff like that. So like when you see Michael, he is always having like that shield, the sword, holding, sometimes binding the demon. Really, it's a classical warrior angel. They protect souls and keep the universal records. They also keep demons and other evil forces from really taking over the third dimension. So they also guard the pathways to heaven. So say that, you know, you're in the next realm or whatever, or you're traveling up Kabbalah, basically, and you encounter this angel. It's going to be the ones who like basically guard stuff, like they guard the gates of heaven. This in theory would also indicate that they could be made up of cherubim also, since Genesis says that God put cherubim in front of the east entrance to the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword. Really, it just depends on who you ask or where you get your answers from, but I think that they are made up of basically all types of angels that don't necessarily look the same. It just depends if they are capable of filling this role or not. At times they hold a golden staff in their right hands. Again, in Catholic art, you see a lot of saints and angels holding a golden staff. I'm not Catholic, so personally I haven't seen a whole bunch of art from theirs. I just have to look stuff up. Know what I've been told and all that, but from everything that I've seen, there are a lot of people that hold golden staffs. You would think that Michael would be in this cast, but from what I found, he could be at times, but he wasn't really mentioned. So that's kind of strange, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that Michael would enter this class. More on Michael later, so if I do find anything about him being in it, then he'll be mentioned being in this class in his own episode. I'm planning on doing an episode on the higher ranking angels such as Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, Metatron, all that good stuff. Metatron's actually really fascinating, so I can't wait to do an episode on him. Yeah, this episode wasn't as long as I would have liked because I couldn't find that much information. So yeah, I'm so sorry that I couldn't. Hopefully I'll be able to find more information. I can come back and revisit this topic because it is actually really fascinating if you can actually find the information. But yeah, until the next episode, take care. I hope everyone is doing okay. And if you haven't listened to the news episodes, I have a YouTube channel now. It's just Esoteric Lighter Man. I had to make a new Facebook because someone tried hacking into it. I typed in the password and the email and everything, and it says log in as something dandy, and I was like, I don't know who this person is. Somebody's trying to take my gosh darn Facebook account. The Instagram is still the same, the Twitter is still the same, so really it's just the new Facebook episode and the new, not Facebook episode, I can't believe I just said that, the new Facebook and the new YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, I'm going to be trying to do more live stream stuff. I'm going to be answering questions that I get in the comments and DMs and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing stuff like tarot cards, like explaining them and their spreads and stuff like that. Also going over runes. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. definitely go check that out. I might be uploading episodes of the actual podcast on it also, so that'll be another place to get episodes. Yeah, I think that's all. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and I will have a new episode out hopefully next weekend, if not sooner. And it'll probably be the last episode on Angels, but I'm not quite sure yet. So, yeah, bye.